I changed your weapon. What time is it? Only 10:31. I can't do the domain yet. That's okay. Wait, let me just. Ah.
Alright, let's finish this fast.
Give me damage. I gotta get damage.
That was great.
Oh, it loves that damage.
Bow before your king. I am the cutting edge of sonic gun. Come on, we can do it. Let the show begin.
Target acquired.
Use it a bit. I got it. That. We gotta go. We don't have enough damage.
I got him cornered.
Why you look at me? Why you look at me too, bro? Give me a 4-drop, please. I know it can happen. Let's do. Let's do it too. So okay.
Alright, let's finish this fast.
It's your turn, baby. It's your turn.
That was quick.
Locked up.
Don't mind if I do.
For the Lord of the Night.
Hey! Hey!
Let's go to the crops of color.
Hey!
Time to go.
I got him cornered.
and stuff. Boy. I thought I said 200. I'm so happy. Whoa! I got buddy.
Target acquired. I got him cornered.
Ah, we love tough. We love the tough got 10,000 damage. Ah, it's beautiful. Oh, let me press that button. God damn it, bruh. Level up one of the elements. It's much work. Too much work to do all that, bruh. What? What is? Yeah. Don't know, ask the wrong person. You're doing a lot. And if not, there's 3 holes, which will hold me Yada, which will have a period come out. That's all I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Sorry.
Maloose, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, mademoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the...
About that, it's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Lilly's. But...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
So we. Alright.
Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as and if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse, and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, He refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene. Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with zero warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not be our opponent is insidious and cruel, they are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace.
What do you
We
say
have
like that
been
for?
allowed to live out our lives.
Wait,
There is no need to
you
follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he know Sin is still here? Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that, ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Maloose?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle...
What?
Well,
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already, but as long as you remain safe, he would not. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. even though Boss has been gone for a long time.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to... I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way, thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the place is...
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters will be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Liddy's case.
That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier.
You sound like you put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to... I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. Considering my relative lack of ability, I've...
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that when I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, if the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors, after several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, the first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusts thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle. He always knew our upcoming plan. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you, and to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today, no matter what others might say. he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well. Hey, Thierry! It's me!
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've caught news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callis did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the... I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come...
Hello. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more, see if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the guy.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill—
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order. Makes sense. But besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after—
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, but who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Thierry, you say? Huh. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to—
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mech? If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could all— Still really hard for me to imagine, though. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own— Florent? It is true that he was but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly
So you're saying he's too broke to—
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, who could it be? You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning—
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch— Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to—
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guard?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got—
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trial?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui Harbinger
Child,
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah,
yes.
we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
What did he do this time?
He's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Bruh, child,
It's
what are you
absurd,
even
don't you
doing?
think?
Wait, how?
That's what I thought was strange about it. So I came— If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get—
Right. Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
Child. Always in some damn trouble.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, you're right. This is our best opportunity. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up—
We'll help you, just like you helped—
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson. It's our hope that your confidence will be bumped.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make—
See you then!
Bye-bye. Let's go fast some back, guys, bro.
Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus,
Oh.
we should also get going.
Okay.
The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater.
Makes sense.
Try to find the entrance.
Well, let me get the papers.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem... You're right. And Import Navia's probably arguing...
Bro.
It would appear that I must repeat my question. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate, in which case, as long as I accept the charge, I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
Child, please. I
privately
can't.
sparred with her last
I
time,
can't with
she was
you.
obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're...
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm...
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is go. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again.
That case had nothing to... Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
Oi.
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerate, but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here, and if my charges prove true, then...
Oh. A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted.
Child, I can't with you, bro.
Now, Miss Navia, who is the person...
That person is...
Bro, don't leave this stuff to me.
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières. Huh? What Confrérie?
I've heard of them, but...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
You know what?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone isn't an... And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances...
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Members of the guards, please contact...
I had my chance. What we did say was about Marcel.
Mr. Marcel, you will not require...
Apologies. It all just happens. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is...
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. To the case of... Only through elucidating what really happened in that case, can we...
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on. Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at...
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory of...
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing...
Oh,
These
boy.
are the known facts about them.
Alright,
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques. In truth, the third person shot Jacques. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information.
Oh no! Okay.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques, however, in the end, he reconsidered and instead shared everything with Callus. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already...
Wait. Hold on, bro. Hold on.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Oh, look at that.
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait,
You shut up.
You're telling me something as dangerous as water for—
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respect.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her...
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, 1, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not.
Boo! If you don't have—
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that—
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette,
Why do I feel like for—
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
my second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If then, why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that—
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but at that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine, but what good would that do? How can a had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what they—
So, you mean to say—
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand...
So, during the duel—
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue. Just one look and I can tell If a duelist is hoping, I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more...
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your
Right? What she said was fascinating.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are in my father's case. The culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, and at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because the culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after here, I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove... On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing?
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of... But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feeling. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first... You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends, and could those records and testimonies do something to appease...
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings, but aren't you going against all of his wishes and... He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to... The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who... Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you.
Alright, it's time for me now. Yay. What's this? Ooh, party setup? We gonna fight, bro? Yeah, we gonna fight. Okay, hold on. She ain't Bill, but I will definitely bring her.
Target acquired.
Oh, alright.
The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Oh, pretty.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way.
Oh boy.
Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Ah, there we go. Kind of forgot you could do that. There's trap, baby. Yeah, that's not high enough, bro.
Water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Yeah, I had it there, yeah. It's so useful, bro.
Punishment! Locked up.
Next customer.
That's cool.
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Well. Hello?
Target acquired.
You can't run. Delicate as silk.
I got him cornered.
One, two, three, and then four. Oh, I wasn't ready. Okay, we're good.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the opera house and help Navi.
Alright.
What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. visit too, but... What? Huh? You mean the girls from the cereal... And then... They were... And all the boxes of things. These names... Let's see what's written here. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an Yep, this should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made, he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
Well, Paimon, that's life, bro. That's just life.
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the sin. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. Paimon will take notes on this and...
Thank you, Paimon.
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready to... Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusion. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read some... How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim. No, that's not it either. If that's the case, why would he want... In any case... We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were... Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals it. No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat. You take that side, and Paimon will take this side. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you've... Aw, It's just a normal diary chronicling the... So many! A whole page's worth! The final name she decided... Marcel! Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old. Has this...
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh.
I've merely surprised.
I was waiting.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence...
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the whole... You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
So that's it. Even the villain... And with that, Marcel...
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel... You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away.
I knew he was
instead of paying attention
suspicious.
to the living people
The
around
first time we talked,
So,
I
you
knew it,
never
bro.
noticed how we changed or how we grew as individuals.
I knew,
Also
bro.
never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself.
Do you think? Do you pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your... Venier is dead! We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place! So I...
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I did all of that. And in the end... I spent my entire life living on pins and needles!
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! Venier, please, Venier!
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Venier. During an underwater expedition, Venier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a... To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel, and began... During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, after exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callis in... And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial... However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case thus concludes the enigmatic history. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charge. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial...
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true...
Yippee! He's hurt so many innocent people. Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely...
The day our late boss had always hoped for is fine.
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you...
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the...
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, the guilty party has been identified, and we now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice...
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice...
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of...
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is, by law, the final... Guards, please take the sus...
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Nouvelette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking... I don't know what happened there either. Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that...
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow... Don't tell me. You thought even I had been But
the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything, and of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, everything he's done, not to mention all shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now—
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't—
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, however, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment—
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for— After all, he's done plenty of— Oh, Monsieur Neuvillette!
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If—
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease—
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you— I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that— the Fountain of Lucine? Then— Please, please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one—
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think—
Paimon agrees!
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live? Very well.
Your Honor, I feel—
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case—
Thank you. Thank you.